Good morning. I want to talk to you about a strategy. It's actually Coffee with Shanda that I started about 2 years ago that has really made a huge difference in just my relationship with you guys online. And and I want to address some of the, I would say, blocks that people have to giving on a regular basis, like doing lives like this on a regular basis. And I'm going to share with you what I've learned over the last few years that I think has really helped me stay consistent with you to be able to give. So first and foremost, as you're looking at next year, we're sliding into home base in 2019 and 2020 is around the corner. And one of the things that I think, if you want to really grow your business and just kind of have a leverage point in growing, I recommend that you start something like a 7 a.m. coffee with Shanda. It used to be 6 a.m. and I built my coffees with Shanda around a time that I felt that I could consistently give. So it's very rare that something comes up at 7 o'clock in the morning, sometimes a content day with our team. But it's very rare that something comes up other than a vacation, really, that I don't jump on and do a 7 a.m. coffee with Shanda. I think in the last 2.5 years that I've been doing it, I think that I have been maybe sick once where I just was like, you know what, I just am not going to do it. And other than that, I've stayed really consistent. And other than also going on vacation, taking flex time, which is me role modeling, turning it off, right, as an entrepreneur. So, why did I create Coffees with Shanda? Well, it was actually to give more. It was to build more of a relationship with people who have no idea who I am. I don't do a ton of webinars. I do do a lot of events that people can come to. In fact, we have our events starting up again February 2020. We have 3 or 4 events in the month of February that people can come to. If you want to know more about the locations of that, you can just say, hey, I would love to know if you're coming to my city. I live in this city, and we can let you know if we're coming to your city in February or March or next year, so that you can put it in your calendar. But saying that, because I don't really look at myself, I mean, I market on the internet, but I don't look at myself as a major digital marketer. I mean, I do a few strategies that work really well. I'm kind of a less is more type girl. I look at the big leverage points, meaning that things that I can pour my effort and time into that will make the biggest difference. Because at the end of the day, for me, just like I think you possibly, is I want to work out more. I want to also, go on trips. I want to be a really present mom, and not to say that you can't digital market all over the place and be all of those things, but the truth is that to do all of that, you have to continue to hire a team to be able to hit all the different platforms. The goal is not, just so you all know, the goal is not for you to master every platform on your own. Everybody who is mastering multiple different platforms has a team of people behind them. And when they open up a new platform like Instagram or TikTok or whatever, what we do is we shift all of our attention on a platform and we pour into that platform consistently, so that what happens is we start to gain the following, the engagement, and really the connection on those platforms. We don't just randomly spew our stuff in lots of different areas. So one of the areas I give the most on is actually still here on Facebook. I do quite a bit on our Instagram page, which, if you don't know my Instagram page, it's Shanda Sumter. So it's actually Shanda Sumter on Instagram, not Hardcore. And I do give quite a bit on Instagram, but I'm still consistent a lot more here on our Hardcore Business page on Facebook. And the reason being is because I poured into this platform 2.5 years ago. And, you guys know that I show up, you show up live. When you comment, it makes me actually want to go live more. It's that immediate engagement and response that makes you feel good. And what happens is I end up pouring more into the platform. So it's whatever platform ends up, paying more love back to you, that you start to end up wanting to be on more. And that's human nature, because people are there to connect with. So what am I sharing with you right now? Well, our Coffees with Shanda have a huge impact on the amount of people who go read our blog. And so they're like, if I'm not doing Coffees with Shanda, we see our traffic, our organic traffic online dip significantly. I never could have known that when I started. I think sometimes it's even hard to believe that if you stay consistent on a platform that you will build a following up. But the truth is that if I do a live on here, by the end of the day, there's 3, 4, sometimes 7,000 people who have seen it. I started with 2 people that would show up live. I started with 2 people who would show up live, and it just grew from there. I used my email list to share with my email list that I was going live. I should do that more often. I don't do that as much as I really should, and that's something that I should talk to our marketing team about, so that on cross platforms we could do it better. Why is that important? Because you don't have to do it just absolutely perfect to be able to get it right. What's right is you just consistently giving. And what sucks, or what I would even say almost is wrong, as far as if you want to make more money, you want to impact more people, what would be wrong, a wrong way of thinking would be thinking this conversation that you don't want to be that consistent. And so the question that I have to you is, if you don't want to do lives every day, and if you don't want to, do something consistently, like writing a blog or writing emails on a daily basis, if you feel like that's hard, I want you to analyze your generosity. I want you to analyze your generosity, because it's one thing to want to go teach and educate and sell your stuff. But in order to have that work, you have to look at the genuine person that you are on a regular basis. And instead of looking at it as an online strategy to just give consistently, or just do Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives, or write a blog, write an email on a daily basis, instead of looking at it as like a pain in your butt to do, which is no different than if you were to adopt a child and that child heard you say it was a pain in your butt to adopt, right? Like it has an energy to it. Right? Like imagine if I complained about you to my husband. I was like, oh my God, I got to do Coffee with Shanda tomorrow morning. I mean, that would come out in my energy. It would also come out in my consistency, but it would definitely come out in my energy. And your energy is directly correlated to the way that you think about giving. And so what I can tell you is, when you go buy those courses on how to grow my Instagram following, or how to, grow a Facebook group, or how to do email marketing, you're going to find that there's a common thread. And the common thread is consistently giving. And what I commonly hear is people don't want to do that because it feels like I got to do that. And that I just want you to check in, because I think that it's really easy to get self-centered. It's so easy for me to get self-centered, and I'm sure it is for you, to be like, I don't want to do that, right? Like, I don't want to do that. But it does equal to more financial freedom, more impact for people, whether they buy from you or not. It actually equates to success in your business growing. So I'm going to promise you that whatever it is that you're working on, if you think you're in a multi-level marketing company and you're just going to do a few little things and it's going to pop and you're going to have this financial freedom for the rest of your life, you are sadly mistaken, because that takes consistent effort. If you think that you're, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, whatever the social platforms. I mean, we're so blessed that we even have these social platforms to give on. And it's so easy nowadays to connect with people. We're not living back in the days where you had to go to a networking group. We're not living in those days anymore, but yet we're still complaining about the give. Right? We're still saying that, it feels like a lot of work to have to get up, show up consistency. And I think that's because we have a breakdown in commitment these days. And when we look at how much time we spend in breaking our word to our own commitments, we can identify the root cause of why we don't want to give consistently, because we don't want to be boxed into a schedule. And especially as entrepreneurs, I know that we don't like to be boxed into a schedule. But when you get that your business and your life really, all that freedom and fulfillment and all of that really comes from the level of consistent give that you do. If you think about the top motivators in the world, the top business people in the world, they are continuously giving. They're not continuously working on getting. Their focus is on the give. How much time do I put in to create that perfect shirt that's going to make a woman feel amazing? That just doesn't pass on the first pass, that innovation. That's hours of working with fabric, with, models, with like innovating like the human body. We don't have our platforms grow online because we do a couple Facebook lives every now and then, or we're random at it. It is about consistent time. So pick a time that you're willing to commit every single day, or at least Monday through Friday, and then do whatever it don't know what you're going to say. You could sit down and write a list of we had a guy come to speak to our marketing mastery and 1% mastermind, and he's an amazing copywriter, Stefan. I just adore him. And he said to our community, he said, write down a list of 50 lessons that you've had in your life. 50 lessons, 50. What was the situation, like the pivotal moment, the moment that really was like I moved to Las Vegas with $500 in my pocket. The time that I was dating a guy and I found out that after 2.5 years, I was crazy about this guy, that he was in Miami with another woman. And I found out by the owners of Monte Cristo Rum sitting at a table at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas that my boyfriend that I was crazy about was, with another woman in Florida in that moment while I was sitting with a group of our friends, right, and driving his car. What are the lessons that we've learned from these hard moments in our life? And those are the stories that you start to tell consistently online. Those are the stories, and you have hundreds of them. And you have hundreds of them with yourself. You have hundreds of them with other people. You have hundreds of them with people that you've either worked with or friends. There's just thousands and hundreds and thousands of stories. There's a story every day that if you pay attention, like Sarah, who I work with on our team to create our videos that we do, the reason why she's so good at creating videos and producing them with me is because she pays attention, right? And so what would happen if you paid attention today? What would happen if you paid attention and that you started to document a book of all of the aha moments, all of the lessons that you actually are learning on a daily basis and you've learned throughout your life, and then you use those lessons to share and give online? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Your platforms are going to blow up. I mean, your copy is going to get amazing. You're not going to be sitting in a position where going, I don't know what to talk about. Sure you do. Any lesson, when I spoke, I'm going to end on this. Any lesson that you have is worth giving. Any lesson. The most simplest lessons can really help people. Are you hearing me right now? If this is making a difference for you, I want you to type, yes, this is making a difference for me on the comment thread. Any lesson that you're having makes a difference for someone. The simplest lesson, and I talked about this in Top Motivator, I said it's time for us to vulnerably give our wisdom. And what that means is that, like if you have a toddler and your kid still puts, you figured out how to get your kids to not put your shoes on the wrong feet, right? Like that thing, like you've taught them a million times, they're still putting their shoes on the wrong feet. And you figured out how to teach them, then do a video on it, do a live on it. If you are someone who's figured out consistently, like I have, on how to do these coffees with Shanda, then do a live on that like I'm doing right now. If you're someone like Stefan who's figured out how to never, ever be at a loss for content, then share the 50 lessons that you've gained in your life and share that, right? So it's like anything. If you figured out how to organize your email, for God's sake, share that because I want to know, right? Like if you figured out how to use Slack better, then please share how to use the Slack technology to manage your email better. Like share these things that you might think are useless in your life. I'm going to promise you people will find them valuable. And then what happens is when people find the content that you deliver valuable, then what happens is they actually start to value you. And then you get authority. And then when you go to make an offer, you already have built-in authority. So if this made a difference for you, please tag someone that you can share this with that will actually appreciate the fact that you are not just taking this information in and not helping other people. I'm a big fan of generosity. And so generously give this live to someone who needs to hear it today. And I would love to hear from you. What really stood out for you? What was the thing that I said on this live that you were like, that was helpful? That was helpful. And whether it came from me or I'm sharing something that Stefan or somebody else has taught me, I will let them see your comment, so it encourages them to give more. This planet doesn't need another strong individual. We don't need another independent woman. What we need vulnerability. We need people to share vulnerably what it is that you're doing that is making your life better. Heads up, tomorrow we will be starting our Black Friday. So we have a crazy 10-day Black Friday sale. So I want you to keep your eyes on Instagram and on Facebook for our Black Friday, because I'm telling you, it's hot, and it is a huge, huge give. Imagine, just a hint, having me on your cell phone at least once or twice a week to help coach you to success. That's all I'm going to share. And that's coming on Black Friday. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye, you guys. Talk to you soon. Hope this helped.